Hi, and welcome to part 2 of the wpgtk tutorial. In this part, I'm going to cover one of the more advanced features of wpgtk. Last time we covered how to install wpgtk and how to add a wallpaper and set a theme. For this tutorial, I've changed to my usual everyday setup, and you will be able to see that I have a lot of wallpapers, and I'm going to start by reviewing the templates feature. So what does this feature do? If I go ahead and set a theme, you will be able to see, like in the previous videos, that all my folders grab the colors that the theme provides, and the icons too. Everything changes. Also, the GTK3 theme changes. But what happens if I go ahead and head to my preferred browser, which is Qt browser, and it doesn't use GTK, so it doesn't change by default? But turns out that if I do reload of the configuration, it will actually change and reflect the same colors as all the other software in my setup. So if I go ahead and open a new tab, you will be able to see more clearly that the inactive and active colors are reflected over here. So that's nice, but how is it done? Well, that's where the templates come in. If I go ahead and head over to the templates tab, you can see that I have a user-defined template over here. And if I actually go ahead and click on edit, you will be able to see the contents of this template. Okay, so you can see that I have placed some of wpgtk's keywords over here, which go from color 0 to color 15, enclosed in tags, and color act and color in, which are short for color active and color inactive respectively. So I'm going to open a new file over here, which will be the configuration file, and I'm going to apply a color scheme over here. I have a key binding which will place a random color scheme, and I'm going to reload this after changing the color scheme. And you can see every single one of them change to reflect the colors over here. So let me look for that particular color scheme, and you will be able to see that the color 0 corresponds to this one, and color 15 corresponds to this one, and so on and so on. So how do you go ahead and add your own color scheme? I'll do it with an example. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and close this configuration file, and I'm going to open the example that I've prepared. So it's a simple configuration file, but I'd like the colors to change with the color scheme. So in order to do that, I need to add them to wpgtk, and I'll use the templates feature to do that. So we have our plain configuration, and we just click on add, look it up on our file system, add it, and you can see that immediately a base file was generated. So we can click on edit. That will open a file that looks exactly the same as the original, but over here we can place the keywords that we want. Let's say I want color 15 over here, and I want color 1. Okay, so these keywords correspond to these colors. So color 1 should be a deep magenta kind of color, color 0 should be this black, and color 15 should be this one. So I go ahead and apply any theme, and I go ahead and refresh the original, and you can see that the colors already changed. So if I go ahead, let's say I add a light color scheme, say this one, you can see that now the foreground is pretty dark and the background is pretty light. So basically that's how you do it. There's nothing more to it than that, but actually there's something going on in the background. So you're wondering, how is it really done? Okay, so the configuration file is over here, seems untouched. A backup was placed in case something gets messed up. So I go ahead and head to wpgtk's actual directory, and it has a templates folder. If I click it, you can see the template file that we just edited. If we open it, you can see that it has the contents and the keywords. And another file, which is the same file just without the extension, which is actually a soft link to the original file. Here are the values that are replaced. So it does it every time instantly for all of the templates that are over here. So if you want to see the log of this, I'll just go ahead and select a random theme. You can see that the templates are considered whenever this is done. Okay, Polyvar just had a delay over there. Okay, so there's another feature I want to cover right now, and that is the custom keywords. Okay, so you have your own templates, but what if you want to add your own custom values? Then you go ahead and add a new keyword. Let's say you want a font added. Let's say font mono, and you want a monospace font, of course. Let's say you want Terminus, and then you can actually go ahead and edit a base file to contain those keywords, and they will be replaced. So if I go ahead and font mono, I think that was the keyword. Yeah, that is the keyword. I'll open the process file over here, and I'll set a random theme, and I'll reload the file. As you can see, the font appear over here, and if I go ahead, place Comic Sans, save it, you can see that the new font is reflected over here, and I don't have to manually edit the file each time I want to change the font. And this is actually useful because you can also use that same keyword across multiple files, and that way you can actually change the font in various software with just one same keyword. Another thing you can easily do with this feature is that you can actually override wpgtk's default keywords. So if I want, for example, colorate or coloract, it will be more noticeable to have a value of I don't know, color 9 for example, or color, let's say, yeah, color 9. Let's say color 9. It's a good color. If I place it this way and I save it and I choose another color scheme, you will be able to see that now our active color is reflected by this kind of pink color. So if I go ahead and search the configuration file of Qt browser, you will be able to see the change over here, and actually everywhere where I go in my system will have that same override. But if I remove it and I save this keyword list, I set the theme again, you can see everything turn back to normal. So this is useful in case you don't want to get too involved in editing your templates yourself, because you can actually do that too. As you can see over here, you will be able to see that you can actually edit this, save this, and it will affect your GTK3 theme. Another thing I want to show you is that you can manually choose to disable each template. So let's go ahead and give an example of that. If you place that keyword on top of on the first line of any configuration file or template that you have in wpgtk, it won't be taken into account by the software. So if I go and change my color scheme right now, you will be able to see that, okay, just another time, you'll be able to see that the colors won't be reloaded. You can see that this actually has been ignored, and you can change also the custom keyword to say Menlo, and it will be more noticeable. But the point is that, yeah, it will stay the same unless I remove this keyword over here. If I go ahead and reload the theme, you can see that it already updated. So that's it for the tutorial. I will do a part 3 regarding the options of wpgtk and the way you can actually do most of these things with the command line, because you can actually do it. So you can see wpgtk has a lot of options in order to do this. So part 3 will be about that. Thank you very much, and see you next video.